It's the countdown to the final 10 games of the Premier League season. Matchday 29. It's an evening kickoff under the lights from Villa Park. It can't get bigger than tonight. It's Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Looking at the start of this year, 2026, the only game I can remember where we kind of looked like the same side from late last year was the game at home against Forest, and that was early January. Since then, our form has slowly but surely and suddenly declined. It really has. And reflecting back on the last game away at Wolves, which Villa fans know, our record at Molineux isn't great, and Wolves always turn up against us. They treat it like it's the Champions League final, which they did. They look like the team chasing the top 5 rather than us. But under the Unai Emery era, that is by far probably the worst performance I've seen of Villa in a long time. It really was. And you can see it coming. The home form has now carried out into away games. We looked flat, no pace, no spark, no creativity. There was no runners in transition, and then from transition from defense to attack, it was just dreadfully slow. We were predictable, full of side to side passing, and in the wide areas we brought absolutely nothing. In that game, we brought nothing. Yeah, people can say we had a few half chances in that first half, but like when you're going to score, when you're watching and it's going to happen, it wasn't any of that. It was just by far a really poor performance. And credit where it's due, credit to Wolves. They wanted it more. They showed it on the pitch more. They were battling in that midfield, battling for the second balls, and they got the goals when it mattered and hurt us, and deservedly so. There's a massive but we know there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and still there will be. In the final 10 games of the season, there will be more. We've been thrown another lifeline because Liverpool went away to Molineux and they also lost. Wasn't expecting that one. And I just hope we see that Villa back with the edge, the drive, the energy, the fight, the spark, what it takes to really get stuck in, cut defenses open and get goals. I couldn't care less who scores tonight, how the goals come. We just need goals. We need more than them. I can see Chelsea scoring, but anyone scoring, anyhow, we'll take it, because the 3 points, this is a time where it will make the world of difference going in, into the 9 games with Man United, which we'll have next away at Old Trafford. Again, we haven't got the best of records there. It's time to get to Villa Park. Come on, the Villa!
From over there, and left back. Offside, isn't it? It's going to be offside.
From Villa Park, full-time scoreline this evening. It finishes Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. I mean, you know, in my opinion, I don't think it was that much of a battering as the scoreline suggests tonight. I thought we played well in parts. We played better tonight than we have done in recent game weeks, definitely in my opinion. Moments of where we switched off for their goals. Maybe there's been a bit of controversy tonight. Ollie's goal, it was a second goal. I mean, with the line that they showed briefly on the monitors in the stadium, very briefly they showed it, and his feet, it looked, in line. And apparently they ruled it offside because of a slight elbow. I mean, such body parts, are they, do they come into play when you are to score a goal? But yeah, I don't know what the rules are in the modern game anymore when it comes to Premier League football, but I'll leave that to the professionals to organise and do what they got to do. But yeah, it comes down to having that little bit of quality where it matters on the pitch. That's, in my opinion, that's where we're missing. We're missing that electric pace and power. A couple of seasons ago we had a player like Diaby, who was very nippy, very quick, could carry the ball at such pace, and that actually helped significantly in our power play on the transition. And that was the season when we got Champions League football, finishing 4th. And that first half tonight, it kind of reminded me of that, where all of Chelsea's play come from Garnacho, who stepped in from Neto, who would have played. Again, like for like, both very nippy players, both powerful, both run with the ball at serious pace and very direct. And Garnacho did exactly that. He just carried the ball, cut in, and he caused Cash at right back absolute havoc in that first half. A lot of the play was simple. Give it to Garnacho. He cut in, and yeah, all the threat come through him. A lot of it, and we couldn't really deal with it. Every time he had the ball, it looked like he's gonna cause some damage. We did switch off for their goals, the first two anyway, and I know at this level and playing against such a powerful squad, with seriously powerful squad depth, you can't afford to do that. You're going to get punished, which we did tonight. Our best starting 11, I would say, yeah, we're a strong team. And to sustain that level of power needed throughout the entire season, you can see the gaps in the ability with our bench, and whereas Chelsea, I mean, they're superior all over. Their second string is just as good, or probably even better than the players that do start. That's the kind of level and superiority that we're up against at the minute. That's the difference between such clubs, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to close that gap. Without being too downbeat, I've just had a glance at the other results. Newcastle have done us a bit of a favour by beating Man United, so they stay level on points with us for now. Liverpool lost this game week, and the only team that's in the race for Champions League, it's Chelsea that's won. So as it stands, you have Liverpool and Chelsea both on 48 points, Villa and Man United both on 51. So that gap is just 3 points now, but we're still in it. Regardless of our poor run with poor results, we're still in the race. That's the surprising factor. There's still plenty of points to play for, and the way this season has been, it's so competitive. It's just insane. Any team can beat anyone. There's no real consistency. So yeah, there's hope. There's hope. As supporters, we can only hope. We crave for Champions League football, and that top 4-5 finish. It's going to go to the wire. I truly believe that now. It'll go to game week 38. It's going to be nervy. There'll be more twists and turns. But bottom line, there's still 9 huge games to go. So villains, we're not out of it yet by all means. So bring on game week 30 away at Old Trafford against Man United. That'll be some tie indeed. And I'll be back at Villa Park continuing our European campaign in the Europa League against Lille. Until then, take care, safe travels, and as always, up the Villa.